Hello again, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of Truth Viral Television. I'm TV, the host of Truth Viral Television, where the truth goes viral. Today, we're going to talk about the subject of silver. So, I don't think I can get it done in one video, so this might end up being a series of videos. Try to keep it kind of organized. There's just so much information to cover about silver, whether you should own it, whether you shouldn't. I'm going to leave that up to you. At this point in time, the silver to gold ratio is near 80-1. That hasn't been, but a handful of times in history. I don't know if that's sounding any of the alarms to you, but I'll try to cover what kind of silver maybe you should own, what kind of, maybe what kind of silver you should avoid. I'll try to make this first one not so much about facts, maybe try to convince you on the next one on how the deficit of silver is going and how much silver is consumed on a yearly basis, and some of those statistics to maybe draw you a little closer to take a look at silver as maybe an investment for the future. And there's a lot of information. People believe that gold is the answer. Some people believe silver is the answer, but I'm not wealthy. I don't have a ton of money. I live for more things than silver. I don't have a huge collection. I'm just a single father. I take it personally that the Messiah was sold for 30 pieces of silver. So just owning it, it doesn't fare good on my conscience. It's a wicked world out there. Money is the root of all evil. They'll have you believe that silver isn't money. It used to be in our money, as you can see there on your screen. Prior to 1964, the U.S. government used to put 90% silver in our coinage, and there's a mercury dime there that's 90%. The dime back there looks shiny, but it's a nice silver dime from the 40s, I believe. Lots of different kinds of silver out there. I'm going to try to cover again what kind of silver maybe you should take a look at. One of the big problems that I see is that most people don't even know where to get silver. A lot of the times, if I've brought the subject up with people and asked them, they tell me the pawn shop is where they go to buy silver. And I'm not saying that they might not have some silver at the pawn shop, but that's not where you're going to get your best price, and that's not their business. So I'll try to cover that. Why don't I just cover that in this video right here, right now, on the spot? I would suggest you find a coin dealer, okay? Somebody who does this for a living, because there's a lot of fakes being pumped out there right now because the demand is just through the roof. I'm going to cover that in some of my videos. It's demand is higher. The last 5 years the demand has been up higher than the production, so that's where I'll cover deficits in the other videos. But there's going to be a mad rush, a bottleneck, so to speak. Everybody's going to, at one point in time, they're going to maybe pull all their money out of gold and put it in silver. I'm not sure. There's some statistics on that, and it's pretty crazy. But again, where are you going to buy silver in your town? There really isn't a lot of places to buy silver, if you think about it. Now, I asked you, where would you buy it? How many do you know? But look, I'm gonna tell you right now, most towns, if they're a decent size, have at least one. So it's not like you're totally out unless you just live in a little tiny town. They have at least one coin dealer, and I'd suggest that you start there, okay? It's not that there's not places like eBay and Amazon and places that you can't find reputable dealers and purchase some silver for investment purposes whatever you deem. We'll cover that later on what you want to do with the silver that you have. But I can tell you right now, it's not something that you do on a daily basis. But again, where are you going to buy the silver? If it goes up and it gets, the price of it gets really high, do you know where to go buy it? Okay, first of all, you want to make sure you're getting reputable silver. Now, what are you going to do when you want to sell that silver? Are you going to take it to the pawn shop and let them rob you? Sorry, pawn shops are going to try to give you a loan that you can pay back. I'm not against pawn shops. They've kind of been keeping this American economy going for quite some time, but that's a different subject and maybe another subject that could be covered in a video there. But again, you want to go back to that same coin dealer and build a relationship with him so that when you need to sell your silver, he's not going to rip you off and he'll give you the spot price or close to the spot price for silver. So spot price is what you're going to pay for the silver over the metal price. Normally things have what they call numismatic value, which means more than the price of the weight in silver. That means something that's really rare, really old. It's not just going to be a quarter for that coin, and it's not just going to be its weight in silver. You know, like a quarter, that's a super rare quarter, so the value of it is, that's again what I told you, that's the value. But spot price is what you're going to pay over the spot price. On Kitco is a great website that has a spot price on the silver and gold. You can find palladium and platinum. I'm not rich enough to own any of those, but that you can follow and have some of those if you're, you know, that type of investor. But eventually, one day, I do believe that these metals, at least gold and silver, their paths will cross. Their ratios will be 1-to-1. Do the math. Yeah, 1-to-1. So if you know what the current price of gold is today, you can check that out on Kitco. You'll know that you made a good investment. But you know, will you get to the exits before anybody else? Everybody's always saying that the world's coming to an end, blah blah blah. But if you've been watching the elections, things like that, they've been talking about being in a bubble. And so I encourage you, if you own some things, you know, I find it highly just irritates me that people don't do anything to think about their future. You should think about what happens after you die, before, above all. But in this lifetime, you're supposed to be taking care of yourself and make sure that you're not struggling if you don't have to, right? Don't make your own trouble. You know, I think we've all done that. It's when you mature, you come out of those things, and hopefully you don't do that anymore. But again, I'm not sure if I convinced you yet, but again, I'm not trying to make this as some kind of fear porn or silver porn, we'll call it, or whatever you want to call that they do, where they try to get you to, you know, well, let's just use the word that I said for itself, you know. But I'm not asking you to go out and spend your whole life savings. If there's something you know that you own that you don't use, this would probably be a good time. Silver's not the everything. Please have food and water before you buy even one piece of silver. Have that prepared, and a preparation to have that for your family. Food prices are always going to go up. We know that, folks. Silver, it comes second, okay? That might go down. Hell, they might confiscate it, you know? Food first. Water first. Silver, you know, second. Maybe third, some way to protect your silver. So, safety, okay? Safety above all. No. The Most High above all. But, look. Ladies and gentlemen, when this all happens, when people figure out that there's nowhere to get any more silver, it's used in so many things. Let me go through a few things with you. This isn't everything it's used in, but I'll show you. It's used on a daily basis, And that's the problem. Silver is consumed and gold is not. Most of the gold that's here on this planet, you know, you could have gold in some jewelry that some Egyptian person wore 2,000 years ago. Gold gets recycled, every bit of it. But let's get into this. Some people don't even have any idea how many times that gold is something that is not consumed, and silver is something that generally is even thrown away into our dumps. So maybe down the road there'll be a future source of silver, not to give away any future. That's what this whole thing is about, is trying to give you a head, you know, start swimming now. But CDs and cell phones and batteries, they all consume, you know, silver. Some smaller batteries quite a bit, actually. Calculators and circuit boards, they have silver. Hearing aids, electronic switches, TV screens, catalytic converters in our cars, inks, clothing, computer monitors, band-aids. That's a form of, you know, that. Why is antibiotic? That's what's woven into the band-aid. Colloidal silver, that's an antibiotic by itself, been used for thousands of years. Yes, look that up, folks. I don't take any kind of medicine. You could literally take one of these coins. If it's the right coin, I'm not going to tell you there's at least 3 of these coins that are in front of you wouldn't want to stick in your mouth, but the other ones are 9.99 pure, and silver in small amounts is good for your body. So you take too much of it, you'll turn blue. One of the biggest consumers of silver is solar. The Chinese, I'm going to get into how much they consume in another video, but I don't know if you ever heard that term, don't put all your eggs in one basket. A lot of people rush to gold and believe that's the way to hedge their investment. But again, at 80 to 1, if, you know, let's just throw this out there. I think I have a little bit more time before I better close this video out. But if grandpa or grandma put away $3,000 in crisp cold $100 bills for you, or let's just say $1 bills, it don't matter, right? It's still paper money, and they put that in a safe or buried it in the backyard or stuck it under their mattress, put it in, you know, in a safe deposit box for you, pull it out 30 years later. What would that, 30 years, 50 years, I'm not sure what number I used to begin with, but let's say 50 years ago, what would have 50 years ago, what would have $3,000 bought you? It would have bought you the farm and a whole lot more. But what would $3,000 buy you today? It's still worth $3,000, folks. It still says the same amount on that money, but what would that buy you today? Back then, silver was only a couple dollars an ounce. So you're talking about them being able to buy you 1,500 ounces of silver at today's rate of $15, and it's been as high as, you know, $30, $40 in the past. You're talking about, what was that? I said 3,000 times 15. Do the math, ladies and gentlemen. Your money lost value. You could light it on fire. There's been people in every other currency in the world, because they don't like to call silver currency, and that's why they've taken it out of our currency. You see that silver quarter in front of you, 54. Anything 64 or older, silver dimes, silver quarters, look for those. They're still out there in circulation. That's what I can do before I close out for this video. So they're still out there. Look for them in your change. I'll do some more on this silver series. Please, silver isn't everything. Put the Most High before anything. Okay, take care of your family. That's why you want to make these investments now. So I'm Truth Viral. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to my continuing subscribers. Please share this video to anybody that you think might benefit from it. I'm Truth Viral. Thanks for watching Truth Viral Television, where the truth goes viral.